One of the others most, this is Julima Wellness Consultancy in Mulera in Theta in Juja in Kiambu in Kenya, East Africa, with East Africa. Let's join together and hear about the position of birth, the order with the birth order. One of the Adler's most enduring contribution is the idea that order of birth is a major social influence in childhood, one from which we create our style of life. Even though siblings have the same parents and live in the same house, they do not have identical social environments. Being older or younger than one's siblings and being exposed to different parental attitudes create different childhood conditions that help determine personality. Adler liked to amaze lecturer audiences and dinner guests by guessing a person's order of birth on the basis of his or her behavior. He wrote about 4 situations: the firstborn child, the secondborn child, the youngest child, and the only child. At least for the firstborn child, let's hear about the behavior of the firstborn child. At least for a while, firstborn children are in a unique and identifiable situation. Usually, the parents are happy at the birth of the first child and devote considerable time and attention to the new baby. Firstborn typically receive their parents' instant and undivided attention. As a result, firstborn have a happy, secure existence until the secondborn child appears. Suddenly, no longer the focus of attentions, no longer receiving constant love and care, firstborns are in a sense dethroned. The affection firstborn received during their reign must now be shared. They must often submit to the outrage of waiting until after the newborn needs have been met, and they are admonished to be quiet so as not to disturb the new baby. No one could expect firstborn to suffer the drastic displacement without putting up a fight. They will try to recapture their former position of power and privilege. The firstborn's battle to regain supremacy in the family is lost from the beginning. However, things will never be the same, no matter how hard the firstborn tries. For a time, firstborn may become stubborn, ill behavior, and destructive, and may refuse to eat or go to bed. They are striking out in anger, but the parents probably strike back, and their weapons are far more powerful. When firstborns are punished for their troublesome behavior, they may interpret the punishment as an additional evidence of their fall and may come to hate the second child who is afflicted or the cause who is afflictions of all the cause of the problems. Adler believed all firstborns feel the shock of their sage status in the family, but those who have been excessively pampered feel a greater loss. Also, the examiner of the loss depends on the firstborn's age at the time their life appears. In general, the older a firstborn child is, when the second child arrives, the less dethroned the firstborn will experience. For example, an 80 years old will be less upset by birth of a sibling than will be a 2 years old. Adler found that firstborns are often oriented towards the past, locked in a nostalgious and pessimistic about the future. Having learned the advantage of power at a time, they remain concerned with it throughout life. They can exercise some power of a younger sibling, but at the same time, they are more subject to the power of their parents because more is expected of them. They are ad- there are advantage to being the firstborn child. However, as the firstborn often plays the role of teacher, tutor, leader, and disciplinarian, expected by parents to help care of younger siblings. This experience often and the firstborn to mature intellectually to a higher degree than the younger children's. One researcher described the situations as follows. Second-born children might ask older siblings about the meaning of words, about how things work and why, about the whereabout of candy or of a parent who is late in coming back home, and about countless other matters that other siblings must now explain. This role of tutor, firstborn children gain intellectual advantage by virtue of rehearsal, by virtue of having to articulate an explanation or offer the meaning of a word. Firstborn gain more verbal fluency more quickly than the secondborn. Ada believed that the firstborn also take unusual interest in maintaining order and authority. They become good organizer, conscientious, conscientious, conscientious and scrupulous about details, authoritarian and conservative in attitudes. Sigmund Freud was a firstborn. Adler described him as a typical eldest son. Firstborns may also grow up to feel insecure and hostile towards others. Adler believed that neurotic, perverts, and criminals were often firstborns. The second-born child, now we are in the second-born child. The second-born students, the one who calls us apophis in the lives of firstborns, are also in a unique situation. They never experienced the powerful position once occupied by the firstborns, even if another child is brought into the family. Secondborns do not suffer the sense of dethronement felt by the firstborns. Furthermore, by the time the parents have usually saved their child rearing attitude and practices. A second baby is not the novelty the first was. Parents may be less concerned and anxious about their own behavior and may take a more relaxed approach to the second child. From the beginning, secondborns have a placenta in the older siblings. The second child always has the example of the older child's behavior as a model, athlete, or a source of competitions. Ada was a second-born child who had a lifelong competitive relationship with his older brother. Even when Adler became famous analyst, he still felt overshadowed by his brother. Alfred always felt eclipsed by his model brother and resented his favored status in the family. Even in the middle age, he would feel moved to comment wearily that wealthy businessman Sigmund, a good industrious fellow, was always ahead of me, is still ahead of me. Competition with the firstborn may serve to motivate the secondborn, who may strive to catch up to and surpass the older siblings, a goal that spurs language and motor development in the secondborn. Not having experienced power, secondborns are not concerned with it. They are more optimistic about the future and are likely to be competitive and ambitious, as Adler was. Other less beneficial outcomes may arise from the relationship between firstborns and secondborns. If, for example, the older sibling excels in sport or scholarship, the secondborn may feel that he or she can never surpass the firstborn and may give up trying. In this case, competitiveness would not become part of the secondborn's styles of life, and he or she may become another shiver, performing below his or her abilities in many facets of life. The youngest child. Youngest or last-born children never face the shock of dethronement by another child and often become the pet of the family, particularly if the siblings are more than a few years older, driven by the need to surpass older siblings. Younger children often develop at a remarkably fast rate. Lastborns are often high achievers in whatever work they undertake as adults. The opposite can occur, however, if the youngest children are excessive, pampered, and come to believe they needn't learn to do anything for themselves. As they grow older, such children may retain the helplessness and dependency of childhood, and accustomed to striving and struggling, used to being cared for. These people find it difficult to adjust to adulthood. The only child. Only children never lose the position of primacy and power they hold to the family. They remain the focus and center of attention, spending more time in the company of adults than a child with siblings. Only children often mature early and manifest adult behaviors and attitudes. Older children are likely to experience difficulties when they find that in the early years of life outside the home, such as school, they are not the center of attention. Older children have learned neither to share nor to compete. If their abilities do not bring them sufficient recognition and attention, they are likely to feel keenly disappointed with his ideas about order of birth. Adler was not proposing firm rules of childhood development. A child will not automatically acquire a particular kind of character based solely on his or her position in the family. What Adler was suggesting was the likelihood that certain styles of life will develop as a function of order of birth, combined with one's early social interactions, the creative self in constructive the style of life uses, both influences. Thank you. That is the order of birth. And I think we will learn something about it and never condemn any child because of his position of birth, and let's give credit where it is, if it's a second born, if the last born or the only child. Let's know how to handle them because they are ours and we will remain with them. Thank you. Comment on my video, subscribe and like, and next time you will be the first to receive my videos. Thank you. Welcome.